I'm in Sri Lanka right now, and I've been here for 5 full weeks. In this video, I'm going to show you my first impressions of Sri Lanka from my first day here, and my first impressions of Colombo. I just arrived in Sri Lanka and I got out of the airport that's close to Colombo like 20 minutes ago, and this was the smoothest immigration process I've ever been through. They barely looked at my passport. There were so many forms and stuff that I had to fill out to come here for COVID, and they didn't even check like any of them almost. After getting out, I also got a SIM card from the airport. That was a pretty good price. It was like 2,000 Sri Lankan rupees or $10 US for a month and 20 gigabytes. And I also got some cash out of the ATM because apparently there's a good ATM here, and I didn't want to exchange my money at the airport because you get terrible rates for that. So now I'm outside. Right in front of the airport is this Buddhist temple, and I was going to take a train to Colombo because it's still like 30 kilometers out from here, but looks like the next train's in like 3 hours, so I'm just gonna try to catch a bus. So I'm getting a tuk-tuk to the bus station for 200 rupees. This is so hot. Thank you. Okay, so I'm on a bus with AC, which is a really nice change from the heat and humidity outside. And the bus ticket to Colombo was like 200, but I had to pay an extra 200 for my big ass backpack. Okay, so that bus took like 45 minutes and dropped me off right in the middle of Colombo, next to this floating market actually that's pretty popular. So the 3 most commonly spoken languages in Sri Lanka are Sinhalese, Tamil, and English. So it's funny, whenever you see a sign, you see the name of the place or whatever in all 3 languages. And I think I'm gonna have to get a tuk-tuk to go to my hostel. Getting in a tuk-tuk with these bags are kind of tricky. So I've arrived at my hostel. This hostel is really nice. And it costs like $10 per night. And I got bottom bunk because there's no one else in this room yet except for me and this French woman over there. Okay, and there's a super sick rooftop. So I definitely want to see Colombo a bit more, but first things first, I need to exchange some dollars and get some money. Are you open?
Yeah.
Okay. How much is the rate for dollars, US dollars?
203.
203.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get $200 US dollars in Sri Lankan rupees.
Yeah.
So thank you is Aiboa. Sri Lanka is Aiboa. Okay, Aiboa. It's always important to learn basic words like thank you in a language, in a country, I mean. But I guess I don't really know if that was Tamil or Sinhalese. So I just exchanged like $200 for cash. And usually I prefer to like not travel with cash, but I had to in this case because I was coming from Bangladesh, and as you might know, it's kind of tricky to move money in and out of Bangladesh at times. It's starting to get dark, but I finally have some money, which means I can go and get some Sri Lankan food. Behind me, that's the very famous clock tower. I read about this place earlier before I came to Sri Lanka, but I didn't know I was gonna walk right past it. Something really interesting is that everywhere else I've been in South Asia, like India and Bangladesh, the police are kinda very iffy about letting people film in a lot of places. And so far, from like the 2 or 3 cops I've seen or met, it feels like it's the exact opposite here. The cops are actually welcoming me and like pulling me aside and telling me like, oh yeah, film here, which is I guess how it is in a lot of countries, but not usually in South Asia from my experience. But this is good for travel vloggers at least. Also, there's like a ridiculous number of really tall buildings here and skyscrapers. Feels like I'm in Kuala Lumpur again. Okay, So yesterday was a bit interesting. I was set out looking for Sri Lankan food, and then I realized I'm in this very fancy neighborhood that doesn't have any local Sri Lankan food that I like, and I ate Burger King and it was terrible and expensive, and I don't know why I did that. So today I'm gonna try out again and find some good food. But first let me tell you a little bit about the history of this place and the neighborhood. This place has been a big trading post for like more than 2,000 years, and for the longest time, starting from like around the 8th century, Colombo was controlled by Arab merchants. Then in the 15th century, the Portuguese came and sort of colonized the place. And they built a fort here, which is no longer here, but that's why this whole neighborhood is called the Fort District. Then the Dutch came and sort of recolonized the place and replaced the Portuguese, and then they built their own fort and they tore down the fort that the Portuguese had. And then the British came and they also tore down the Dutch fort and built their own military barracks. And then after that, like in the 1970s, the people of Sri Lanka tore down the military barracks and they built the World Trade Center behind me right here. And this is the financial center of Colombo. So this is a very fancy place. So don't come out here if you're trying to find cheap, local, or street food. It's so hot right now that it's literally painful to be wearing jeans with my outfit, but I have to because I need my pockets to carry all this stuff. Right now I'm walking to this building, which is probably the most interesting looking building, at least to me, in Colombo. So there are a lot of these little shops on the streets that look like they're selling almost souvenir, like elephant paintings and all. But I don't think this is for tourists, because this is not like a touristy area shop, if you know what I mean. Because I'm in this neighborhood where it looks like every shop is a flower shop. Okay, right behind me, that's the famous Jami ul Alfar Mosque with the infamous candy cane architecture on the pillars and everything else. I'm gonna try to go and see if I can get inside. This is not that old, not that historic. It's less than 100 years old, but it's definitely one of a kind. I've never seen a mosque that looks like this. There's usually an entrance for visitors to go in and film and do whatever, but it looks like it's closed right now for COVID, so I can't really go in. I don't want to like sneak in and film in a mosque when I'm not supposed to. Alright, I'm gonna try to go to another important religious building now, but first I just want to try to get some food that is not Burger King. I'll get one samosa, one egg roll, and one lassi, please. No lassi? What do you, mango juice? Do you have? Okay. From this cute little fast food store on the side. We got the samosa, the egg roll, and the juice, and all of this combined costs like 250 Sri Lankan rupees, which is $1.25. This is really good. Egg roll is great too. This costs like 20 cents on the US dollar. 2 more egg roll, please. Thank you. I'm so wet right now. Thank God you can't see it because I'm wearing all black. So people usually say that Sri Lanka is not as crowded as India and Bangladesh, and that might be true, but this is still pretty damn crowded. So I'm in front of the Ganga Ramaya Mandir, which is probably the most famous temple in Colombo, and a huge and gorgeous temple complex. This is a Buddhist temple. There's some sort of hymn playing in the background on like a loud speaker, so I'm guessing this has something to do with the prayer, though I'm not entirely sure. So in case you're wondering, Sri Lanka and Colombo are both like 70% Buddhist, and the rest is a mix of Hindus, Christians, and Muslims. So this temple is interesting because it's got a mix of Indian, Thai, Sri Lankan, and Chinese architecture in it. This is so cool. Really glad I'm able to film this and show you all of this. Right now I'm in this second wooden building. For the last stop for today, I think, I'm in this place called Gull Beach Green, which is this really pretty walkway right next to the ocean that's to the left of me, and has got a lot of palm trees lined up right next to it. See a lot of people come to just chill here or go on a date, it seems like. I'm gonna try to take a closer look at the ocean here. Finally, I am at the Indian Ocean and I see a lot of waves, which is the main reason that I'm here. It's been 13 months since I've surfed and I cannot wait to get back into it. Alright, that's it for this video. Heading out of Sri Lanka, going to Mauritius if I can catch this train. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram for real-time updates. I'll see you guys from Mauritius.